Hi everyone, morning. Welcome to the Parent Collective. We are here again with the lovely Margot from the Daily Doula. Hi, sweetie. Hi. As you know, we have done a video with Margot in the past. It was absolutely amazing to hear her tips. It was kind of like a Dad's 101, wasn't it? The last time we were together. So today we're going to talk about the first few days at home with baby and the kind of roller coaster that you go through physically and emotionally. And I know we've touched on this with a few other people before, but I love Margot's take on it. So first of all, let's go right back to the beginning. You've had the baby, you're in recovery, you're in the hospital.
Yeah, so this is kind of the unsexy side of your postpartum existence, okay? This is the stuff that nobody really talks about. That first day, you are out of sorts. You're kind of like, what just happened? You're running on adrenaline, you have this thing, all of a sudden you're responsible for it, and you kind of just sort of take that moment in.
Yes.
I think that's my big tip there. Enjoy it. You're not going to get a lot of sleep in the hospital, especially that first night, day, depending on when you deliver. People are going to be coming in and out. They're going to be taking your vitals because you're sick, because you're in the hospital. Right? So we need to know what your blood pressure is every hour after you've had a baby. But seriously, I mean, it's just, there's a lot going on. And so this is kind of a moment for you to consciously take a breath.
Yeah.
And say, okay, this just happened, and like, don't really worry about a lot of stuff. You may not be feeling your physical effects yet. Things are just going to be thrown at you. Just take it in and take a moment.
My husband tells a really funny story. When I had my oldest in England, I was lying there, and you know, you're oozing from a few places, let's just say. And the nurse comes in, and he is so hot. It is ridiculous. And he walks in through the door, and I literally go, no. And my husband's like, he went, I'm just here to change your pad. I was like, no. You need to go out and send someone in that's ugly.
Yeah, there's a lot
so there's a few things that you don't realise, like you're swollen. Down there and around your vagina. And no one told me that. And that was a little bit like, woo.
And by the way, even if you've had a C-section.
I had a cesarean.
You are swollen, you are bleeding.
Yeah.
It is kind of a little Carrie-esque, if you know that movie,
which
is a little bit of an old school reference. At this point, we need a new school reference. But, you know, it's not pretty.
Yeah.
It's normal.
Yeah.
It's normal. And there is nobody serving you in that hospital setting or at your house who hasn't seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So let's just, except maybe your husband who's going to be a little scared. So, dads, it's normal. Go with it. Don't say anything about it.
So what you find is that, I can't even remember, and I've had two now. I think they kept the baby with me at times, but then I actually chose to allow my baby to go to the nursery.
Yeah.
That is a choice, isn't it?
It is a personal choice, depending on where you choose to deliver.
Okay.
Certain hospitals now are going towards something called baby friendly. When they do that, they actually remove their nurseries.
Oh, wow.
That's part of the protocol because there is a pretty good chunk of evidence that says mommy and baby should be together, rooming in together.
Yeah.
That being said, if you need some space, ask for the space that you need and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Just make sure that they bring your baby back.
Yeah.
Especially if you're breastfeeding, and I mean this very sincerely, because you want to make sure that they're following the baby's cues so that you're establishing a good breastfeeding relationship right off the bat. I would say in that first hour, that's a very specific time. It's called the magic hour, and there's a lot of things that happen in that hour. I would try as much as possible to advocate for yourself to have very much skin to skin in that first hour of the baby's life. They don't have to rush the baby away to take a bath. They don't have to rush the baby even to do all the tests that they need to run on him or her. They can do most of that right from your chest. And in a lot of cases,
yeah,
and in a lot of cases, that's better for the baby because the baby is being stabilized by the mother's chest.
Of course.
That connection is chemical. We're gonna that's a little bit weedy, so maybe that's another
video, folks. Yeah.
But that's a very critical moment in time, and actually the baby and the mother are communicating through that skin to skin contact, and so in doing some of the sugar tests and the stress tests and stuff on the mother, the babies tend to perform better. on those tests. So,
what do you think? So, do you think that first hour, can it only be mummy, or can it be mummy and daddy?
it should be mummy if mummy is medically able to have that happen. If mummy is not, daddy is the very next best thing.
Okay.
Any skin-to-skin contact in that first hour. But that first hour is, again, this very special and unique time. After that first hour, mommy, daddy, bring it on.
Yeah.
All of it is good.
And actually, if anything, should the mummy, after that first hour, let the daddy change the nappies, let the nurses change the nappies, all that kind of stuff? You want to be resting, really, don't you?
As much as you humanly can. And for a lot of us moms, it's hard, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to let go. You've just had this, you've been growing this for a long time, so it can be hard. But yeah, you need to recover. This is a big event, right?
Yeah.
We were just
Not
laughing
the
about
biggest,
it.
yeah.
You know, it's kind of like put negatively, but not so negatively. Like, this is a hurricane. This is coming. You know it's coming, right? It's going to make landfall. There are certain things that you can do to plan for that, and one of that is arming yourself with the knowledge and skills of knowing I need to take a break.
Yeah.
I need to say no. I need to close my eyes so that somebody else can handle stuff that you don't have to. If you're, like I said, if you're breastfeeding, nobody else can breastfeed your baby.
Yeah, that's right.
Not in the hospital anyway.
Yeah.
What you do at home is totally up to you. But so let somebody else change a diaper. Let somebody else learn to be the swaddle master, because that's stuff that there's certain things that only a mom can do.
That's right, absolutely.
There's
certain things that yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that first day in the hospital, I remember quite clearly, I felt great. I was like, I'm tired. I'm like, woo, this is amazing.
You're like fired up on the
By day 2.
That's when the real stuff starts to set in, right? That's when the pain comes on. If you're going to have pain, it's very normal to talk it out with your physician, talk it out with your nurse, but definitely get some ice packs for down south. I make these great things called padsicles, where you put pads,
a sanitary pad in the freezer.
In the freezer with a little aloe, and if you're woo, a little lavender oil.
Yeah. They're
really good, but they feel good. And so take your painkillers if you need. If you need.
And do you know what? Actually, I think day 2 is when I felt a little bit of pain, but I was great.
Yeah.
I was great, and I had 2 cesareans, guys, and the first one was an emergency, and I have the most amazing birth stories. I mean, I loved my 2 births. Loved them.
I had one of each, and I always tell any woman who's scared of having a cesarean that my cesarean was no less special than my vaginal.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's about advocating for yourself.
Of course, and it's about being prepared, and don't be that scared that you think that you're going to be in so much pain that you can't cope and deal with anything. You're not. Keep ahead of it with the painkillers, and they're not even that strong. They're just kind of normal
ibuprofen, Tylenol.
Yeah.
If you've had a cesarean, they sometimes will offer you something harder.
A little bit of Percocet or something, won't they, to maybe help you sleep?
And again, my take on this is take them if you need them, because that is how you recover. And the fastest way to recover, to taking care of your baby efficiently and effectively, is for you to be taken care of.
Yeah.
So if you're hurting, then take what you're
that's right.
That's okay.
That's right.
That's okay.
And day 2 is a really good time to start thinking about the latch and thinking about the breastfeeding, if that's the route you want to go down. We're such great advocates for people that want to bottle feed as well.
It is. Your choices are your choices. Nobody's going to judge you for your choices. Sometimes hospitals will. I'll give you that heads up. You just go in knowing what you want to do.
Absolutely.
Or if you don't know what you want to do, that's okay too. But think about it and make the choices that feel good in your gut. But if you are choosing the breastfeeding route, that first day, just like whatever.
Yeah,
get
that's
as
right.
much
just do what you can.
Do what you can. That second day, that's when you really want to start to try to get on an every 3 hours, no longer than that schedule. You really want to work on your latch. All the area hospitals here have lactation counselors on staff. Ask for one to come to your room.
Yes.
I don't care if your nurse says she knows lactation. Ask for somebody who is a designated lactation professional to come to your room, even if everything seems to be going okay. The biggest thing that I struggle with when women come home and they have me come in is that they thought that their latch was good, and then they're completely damaged.
Yeah.
Their breasts are hurt, they're cracked, they're bleeding, and then we have to fix that. And you have to go through some pain, right?
Yeah,
we hear these horror stories.
So let's try and prevent that from happening.
If you get somebody from the very get-go helping you figure out latch, then you're off to a better start than if it slipped in the middle of the night because you were so tired, and now all of a sudden you've accidentally hurt yourself, and we have to sort of come back from that.
Yeah.
We can.
Of course. Well, I'm the prime example. I did not latch well in either hospital and went through all of that. And actually, with my second, I took him up to 7 months, and I loved every minute of it. But he lost interest. I was like, you will stay on my boob. And he was like, no, what's that over there? Oh, that looks interesting, kind of thing. Okay, so we're probably now, if we haven't had a cesarean, on our way home, aren't we?
Yeah.
If we had a cesarean, how many days are we normally in hospital for?
Between 4 and 5.
Okay.
For a vaginal delivery, it's usually 2 to 3, give or take.
Okay, and some people go home. Yeah, some people go home quite quickly, don't they? Okay.
Unless there's a medical reason for you to stay in the hospital, you generally can request to leave earlier. Cesarean moms, especially cesarean moms who maybe have other children at home, may want to choose to stay
yes,
a
please.
little bit longer. You guys know what I'm talking about. Because you need that time to recover, and you want to be able to come home and be the mom that you were to the child that was back at home, and that's a whole other emotional thing that's going on there. So you may choose to stay a little bit longer than otherwise, but yes, generally speaking, 2 days to 4 days, depending on the kind of delivery you had, and assuming all things are medically a-okay.
So one of the things that you said to me earlier, and I loved this, was talk about when we get home. You said there's things that mum and dad need to get through their day.
Yep.
So give everyone an example so we can actually, you can get this sorted with your partner.
This is, again, one of those things for moms and for dads to talk about in advance of baby arriving, okay? After baby arrives, you've just pushed a watermelon out of a lemon, okay? You're not really in a place where you want to have a deep emotional conversation with your husband about what you need. And husband, you're exhausted because all of a sudden all these things have happened to you, and you've probably been sleeping in a chair for a couple of days, okay? So have this conversation in advance. I call it your musts, okay? Talk about what is it that you must have to feel like a human being
to start your day.
Or to get through your day, okay? The example for me is I must have a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
If I do not have a cup of coffee, then I don't feel like I've started, all right? My husband's is different. He must go to the gym at some point during the day. He feels like if he doesn't work out, he is not a good human being.
Right.
Okay? I will tell you that we did not work this out before we had our first baby, and we are still paying for that today.
Yeah.
Okay? We literally are still paying for that. It is an incredibly recurring conversation. We're very happily married, but like these are the types of things that linger, and my oldest is 4. Okay?
Yeah.
So getting these kinds of things sorted out before you even bring your baby home is like one of the best things that you can do for your marriage and for this transition into parenthood, because you just unearth them and you can always say, that was my must.
Yeah. Like my husband, it's golf.
It's like peace. It's
like
you cry uncle. Excuse me, that was my must and it got missed and that upset me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right,
it's
absolutely.
like it just cuts it, it. It slices through everything. You just have that moment where you're like, okay. And knowing that, it's just a simple communication tool. It's just say, hey, this is what I need. And they may change and they may evolve, but keep that conversation going.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're talking now about the first week at home, because it's hard.
It is
but
most
you get through it.
time.
You get through it.
My big emotional tip here, guys, is to learn how to say no.
To friends and family, or
to anybody.
Yeah.
Okay? Here's the thing, like especially if you're a host. Okay, I love to host. I'm a hostess. I want people to come over. I'm gregarious. The biggest thing I learned about myself after I had a baby and brought that baby into my home, and I learned about it literally in the first 2 weeks, was that sometimes I need to be alone.
Yeah, of course you do.
I didn't know that about myself. I was never somebody who sought alone time. But the only way you can get what you need is to say, no, actually, it's not a great time.
Yeah.
Or, no, Mom, I understand that's the way you did it, but it's not how we're choosing to do it. I love you so much for sharing that with me, though. Say it kindly.
Yeah. I don't know if everyone would say it like that, but we'll try, Margot.
But also be forgiving.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So being forgiving, knowing that you're in an emotional state, knowing that you have hormone coursing through your entire system, it is like crazy. You're gonna wake up on a physical side, you're gonna wake up in the middle of the night drenched
in sweat,
but you're going to be cold. Like it's like there's all this stuff.
Do you get that after a vaginal birth, or do you get that just after a cesarean?
Both.
Really?
Both. Because your body, and I'm not going to get into the science, but your body has basically said, I had this thing, I was nurturing this thing, here were all the hormones that I was putting into this thing. Oh, that thing's gone. Okay. Like,
let's get rid of those bad boys. We don't need them anymore.
And they're changing, right? The hormone needs are changing. Now you're needing to produce milk, or so your body's like, bing, 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 bing. Like it's going through an entire like volcanic science project on the inside. So you can go from like happy to tearful that quickly.
That's right.
While watching Modern Family. I mean, like literally, it's like the silliest things that'll set you off.
Yeah.
Emotionally, and then physically, it'll come out while you're breastfeeding. You might get so hot, and then you're gonna be so cold. All of this is well within the range of normal. It's just the stuff that you don't really hear about.
And I found that there was I can't remember when it was either the third day or the fifth day, I became very emotional. Is that the letdown? Is that what it is?
It corresponds with when your milk is coming in, so
right.
It depends on when your milk is coming in, which can happen. Again, the range of normal on that is very broad. Don't freak out.
Yeah.
The range of normal of when your milk comes in and what your baby needs on a certain day is very normal to have, or it's very big. But yeah, again, hormones. Yeah. Hormones, they are pumping, and it would behoove you to just remind yourself of that, or have somebody remind you it's okay. It's okay. Yeah. Forgive yourself. Like, you've just run a marathon, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You've just run a marathon, and I think that we forget. We expect that we're just gonna like pop out this baby and like be our normal selves. But like, if you've had surgery, like, would you have open heart surgery and then expect to be at work the next day, or like hosting the family for dinner? Like, no. Whether you've had a vaginal delivery, a cesarean delivery, whether your cesarean delivery went perfectly and your vaginal delivery was a hot mess, like, you just had this like major physical thing happen to you, and you shouldn't expect yourself to host or to take care of everything. And in other cultures, women are put to bed. Literally, in other cultures, you're put to bed and you're told to stay there for weeks.
Really?
Not to get out of bed. Now, while I like the sound of that, in my modern culture, I feel like, get me out of bed. But the point is that other cultures respect this time a lot differently than our culture does. Yeah. And while you don't have to go to the full extreme, you can bring it back a little bit and just say, all right, I need to chill. Somebody else can load the dishwasher. Somebody else can walk the dog. Somebody else can bathe the other kid I have at home. Somebody else can do this for me. Somebody else can order dinner.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
And I just need to check out for a little bit.
And what about the, hold on, let me go back and look at my notes. So one of the things that I know we wanted to really talk about was the physical, the physical things to expect. Yeah.
So
I mean, that's a whole myriad, isn't it? But just some of the things without scaring the mums, because you have been through a lot. But I will tell you, all this emotional roller coaster, it's very short-lived.
Very,
and this tough time in the beginning is very short-lived, isn't it?
And blink and it's gone.
Yeah. Right? Although when you're in it, it doesn't feel like that. But
it every day changes. Every day brings something new. So that's the emotional side of this too. I think is that every day you think you've mastered something, and then you have moved on to the next. The next thing. But from a purely physical thing, it is a physical experience, guys. Like, this is a physical experience. Like, you cannot get outside of that regardless of how you deliver your
that's
baby.
Right, absolutely.
Like, it's a physical thing, right? So there are changes in your body that you can expect, and they're all normal-ish, right? Depending. And again, when something doesn't feel right, like, raise your hand and ask for that help. But it's gonna be hard to go to the bathroom. Yeah. It's gonna hurt. Or if it doesn't hurt, it's gonna be messy. It's gonna be bloody, right? You're gonna all of a sudden feel like, oh gosh, I have to go, and then like you might start going before you get there. That will come back. Yeah. And there are ways that you can like fix that if it continues. But like that happens. You might need to sit on a big fat donut pillow, right, to keep yourself comfortable. It can be painful down there. We talked about bleeding.
But don't do that if you've got hemorrhoids.
Right, hemorrhoids.
Because my hemorrhoid doctor, I'm just going to share that with you. I have a hemorrhoid doctor. Said, Jessica's behind the camera going like this. Said to me, if you think about that, all you're doing is pushing that downwards. Right. So be really careful before you make that choice.
And
maybe a soft flat pillow.
Yeah. Well, think through your issues, right?
Yeah.
And what is feeling comfortable. The other thing I think that sometimes we forget is pushing out a baby is a very physical experience. So if you've had a vaginal delivery, you can expect to be sore.
Yeah.
Not just down south, but like your back, your arms, your legs, right? You've exercised these muscles that have never been used. Your abs or whatever remains of them, right? These types of things. This is all part of your recovery. And then you go straight into nursing, right, or bottle feeding, and you start going like this. So over the course of a bunch of days, your body is tight. Your body hurts. If you have a resource to get a prenatal or postnatal massage, get one.
Yes.
They're
oh
really
my God,
good.
amazing.
And it will help just sort of push everything back into place, because again, you've had this, right? So all these inner parts have been moved about the cabin, and they need to come back.
And talking about that as well, you will still look pregnant.
Oh, yes.
I thought that it was going to go, and I'd be like, woohoo! But no, you actually still look pregnant. You come out of the hospital and you think, God, I still look 3 months pregnant.
And this is like for anybody even who hasn't gained like a pound, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Your uterus has stretched, your stomach has expanded. So you can't expect, and that's taken 10 months.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you think about it like a balloon. You blowed up a balloon. When you deflate the balloon still has some...
Oh, mine still looks deflated.
But some people snap back faster than others. Again, all within the realm of normal. And my favorite thing always is when somebody comes up to you and says, oh, when are you expecting?
Oh, God.
After you've delivered. It will happen. I'm not expecting. The baby is right here.
Can you not see the newborn I have on my arm?
Yeah. People's filters. That's a whole other topic.
Okay, so we know there's going to be an emotional roller coaster, and we know physically it's going to be a little bit tough for a few days. It doesn't last for very long. How long do you think, in terms of the physical side? I know everyone's obviously different, but as an average, what do you think?
6 weeks is considered the norm.
But not to go back and exercise, girls. Can I just say that?
You'll get clearance to exercise.
Yeah, please don't know.
If you choose to go back to exercise. After that, no judgment. 4 years away. But so 6 weeks is considered the medical norm. Again, there's a range within that. You may be feeling better, but you can get out and walk.
Yeah,
that's good for you. Fresh air is good for you, right? So 6 weeks for your physical recovery. 2 weeks is when you for that emotional, like ups and downs. But it continues after that as well. That starts to enter into a conversation about like what is normal, what is not normal with regards to your emotions, and just check in with yourself and check in with your loved ones around that.
Yeah, check in with your partner as well.
Yeah, or have somebody say, hey, how is she doing? Do you think this is normal? Because we do want to catch certain things that aren't normal as quickly as possible, and that happens. That's real. There are 80% of the population actually has some sort of perinatal mood disorder along the way.
Yeah.
It's big. Everybody's gonna have it. So it doesn't mean that it's super bad, scary stuff.
Oh no,
right?
that's right. It doesn't have to be. Sometimes you can just be feeling a bit low. Sometimes you can be feeling high. The next, it's up and down. Okay, a note for Dad.
So a note for Dad.
We're going to finish up with this, guys.
Regardless of whether or not you've had your musts conversations, my big note for Dad here, especially in these first couple of weeks, is look around. Okay? Look around, and if you see something, do something. Too often, I think we feel like the dads are deers in headlights and they don't know what to do, how to do it. My big advice here is sometimes it's okay to just do instead of ask what you can do. Certainly you can ask what to do, but if you see dishes in the dishwasher, just do them.
Yeah.
If you see that mom is nodding off and getting frustrated, just take the baby for a walk. You know, if you see that she's struggling and she's feeling low, you know, ask her what she wants to drink. Make sure she has snacks. You know, just give her some space to recover from this with sympathy and understanding. And if she snaps at you, take it with a grain of salt. Try really hard not to snap back. And then bring it up at a more appropriate time. Hey, that was kind of crazy. What was that about? What was that about? And she may have the self-awareness to say, I'm sorry, I was like feeling way out of it.
Yeah. Well, listen, guys, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. And Margot, you are amazing as always. We will see you again soon. Margot from the Daily Doula. Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.